I'm going to show you how I shot this short film for literally only $300. What's up, guys? My name is Joshua McClinton. I'm a director based out here in Sacramento, California. I'm going to take you guys into the behind the scenes process of how I made this mini short film for literally only a budget of $300. So we're going to start with the initial conception of the film, pre-production, principal photography, post-production, and then marketing. Number one, the reason we decided to make this short film only, I believe, 1 minute and 21 seconds is because y'all ain't got no attention spans. We live in a TikTok age and a Reels age, and so everything people see is just super fast and super digestible. And so I wanted to make a short film that still had depth, that still had a backstory, that still could feel like it was pulled from a real film, but make it only 1 minute and 20 seconds so it would actually perform better on social media. I know as a filmmaker, y'all probably are like, oh, he compromised. But there was a strategy to this, and by the looks of this, I think the strategy worked. So I actually wrote this film back in 2021. The idea came to me based off a Bible verse, and I just really wanted to just explore an idea on screen of what it truly means to be fearless. I literally thought to myself, what if I was stuck up in an alley and I had no defense on me? There was no one around me. This literally could have been a scenario where I could have got. What would I say? What would I do? How would I respond? How would I react? What would I do? And so that idea and that thought kind of developed into this short film called Fearless. I hit up my boy Joanne Sullivan, amazing man of God, amazing creative out here in Los Angeles, California. I was like, yo, I need you to get stuck up in an alley for a short film. He said, all right, bet. But I still needed an assailant. His name is Michael Brown, an amazing man of God as well. The thing I love about Michael and what I needed for this film was that it wasn't just a role for him. This is who he actually was in a past life. He really came from the streets. He really was in the streets of LA. He really was gangbanging. He really was living that lifestyle. And so for him to come into this character wasn't really a character. He was just tapping into who he used to be. And so it didn't translate as an actor on camera. It translated as someone that genuinely fulfilled and was this person before. And that's, as a director, that's what you want. You want authenticity. You don't want people that's never kind of dived into that world before. I like going for real, raw people that have genuinely walked the walk and talked the talk. It just translates so much better on screen. And I'm actually really glad that me and Michael linked up for this. So I want to take you guys into the treatment that I made for Fearless. It was a very, very simple treatment just to convey the story. I took references from the French film La Haine. I basically put the first version of the script into the treatment just to convey the emotion and the drama of what I want to go for. I used an Excel template for my shot list. Pretty simple, but it's coded in a way where everything is very organized. So as you see, you have scene, setup, shot, reference in terms of the reference on the treatment, the description of the shot, what camera I was using, and you can choose different cameras. So I was A cam, my Steadicam op was B cam, the lenses that we used 20-55, 50-125. I had an 18-35 Sigma that we just didn't end up using. The equipment used, the cast, the movement, the angle. And so I just love this setup for all my shot lists. I use this for all my shot lists. I'll leave the link in the description for you guys to be able to use. So we decided to shoot this film on 2 cameras, the Blackmagic 6K, and then the Steadicam opening shot was actually on a 6K Pro. We shot it on 2 DZO film lenses. We shot on a DZO film 20-55, and then we shot on a DZO film 50-125. We used the 50-125 for the close-up shots, and we used the 20-55 for the opening Steadicam shot. As far as lighting, we used an Aperture Nova, an Aperture 300D, and we had a negative fill. That was literally it. And I think it came out way better than any one of us in the crew expected. Honestly, it was miracle. Budget wise, we paid out $50 to our boy Wes at Somewhat Anti. He did the sound for us. And then we actually paid out the Steadicam Operator, Grant. Not only did he have the Steadicam that we needed for the opening shot, but he had the 2 lenses, he had the gun prop, he had a focus puller. I ended up focus pulling the whole shoot though, and a pterodact. So I was able to wirelessly view my footage and the live footage back on an Apple box in the back while focus pulling. It was sweet. It was sweet. It was fire. It was fire. So this opening shot was the Steadicam shot. We used the DZO 20-55 Canon EF on the Blackmagic 6K Pro. And so we had the aperture nova right above Michael and Joanne, and we had it rigged into a Chinese lantern bulb. So it softened it out. It really gave it that street light feel, that just like that late night street feel. We decided to keep it cool and not warm, to give it like, you know, that bluish, dark, cool in the night kind of atmosphere instead of a warm atmosphere. We felt the coolness of the lights would actually create more of a chilling sensation. I have a loss for words when it comes to this shot. I love this shot. The composition, the framing, the negative fill on the side, the aperture 300D just lighting up the side. Super simple. We really went simple. Less is more. Less is more. For this shot right here, we had the Chinese lantern with the aperture nova right above Joanne. We had the negative fill to the side, and then we actually had the 300D shining on the background to give Joanne that pop so it didn't look too dark in the background. We definitely wanted to give the details of just what the alley looked like. It definitely gave it that pop and that coolness that we were going for. This shot, I do handheld with Joanne because this is attention first from Michael's kind of POV, even though it's not subjective. We tried to treat it as subjective. So as he's beginning to say, as you can see here, why should I fear you? When it's God who takes life, not you. We still got that tension. You know, it's the same setup we used for Joanne for this. Boom, boom. Same exact lighting setup. We decided to go sticks for this shot. The reason I decided to go sticks completely still for this shot is the tension, the seriousness, the boldness that my actor Joanne was bringing to the victim role. In being bold and knowing that if he dies, he's straight. I needed that boldness, and that boldness required just full attention on him. And so I didn't want the camera bouncing around. I needed it still, locked into his face as close as we possibly could. So for this, we actually did use the DZO 50-125 for this shot. And we actually used the 50-125 on this shot as well. Beautiful lens, by the way, beautiful lens. For this, we used the Steadicam. So as you can see, it's kind of hidden, but people don't really notice it. The lighting setup is different. So you see how on this side, the light is on the left side of his face, but now the light is on the right side of his face, his right. And the reason that we had to do this, but no one really noticed, is because for this shot, this was on a Steadicam, and we wanted to whip pan to Michael's reaction. Whip panning required that we whip pan to the right, because if we whip pan to the left, obviously you would see the crew. We would have to move everything back. It was just a lot of work. And so we were just like, screw it. Let's see if people notice. I don't think people noticed. Let's go. And so yeah, we whip panned, same lighting setup, lantern over him, aperture nova, lantern over him, 300D shining on the background. Beautiful setup. Beautiful. That bouncing, that waving. This was the Steadicam problem we had, but the more I edited it, the more I was just like, dude, this Steadicam quote unquote problem that we got is actually giving us production value in a sense. It added to the tension, to the character, and to the entire pacing of the short film. I edited in Premiere, I colored it in DaVinci, and then I re-exported it in a uncompressed ProRes file back into Premiere, and that's where I did my final text editing, final sound editing, final compression and aspect ratio editing. And so in Premiere, I originally just did base editing. I did different versions, different cuts, different flows, I would say, to the short film, and I sent it out to my crew, and I had them be like, yo, I asked them, like, which cut do you guys like better? I made about 5 cuts. I had about 5 different soundtracks to give it different aesthetics and vibes. They sent back their critiques. Obviously, they sent back the majority best one, so I built on that. Once I got to a place where I felt like it was okay, I sent it to DaVinci. I colored it, and I actually colored it using Tom Bowles' Cineprint 16 LUT. Amazing LUT. I don't want to go too in depth about it right now. That's not my goal here, but it just brought so much ease and so much grittiness to this project that I was looking for. I didn't really trust any other film emulation power grade other than Tom Bowles. So shout out Tom Bowles, Cineprint 16. Cha boy. One lesson I learned from doing this is, man, create with friends, man. There's nothing, it's just so satisfying to create with people that not only support your vision, are in agreement with your vision, but that are in agreement with you, that support you, that want to see you win. And by them wanting to see you win, you want to see them win. And it's just a beautiful flow of creativity and of passion going into this project and into any project. So if you guys really have the opportunity and the blessing to have great friends who are creative and always want to create things, man, take advantage, because that stuff doesn't last forever and you don't know what that can turn into. I would say another lesson of wisdom that I learned is to practice patience and to really walk in patience, because walking in patience and being patient and bearing that fruit of patience, you're able to make a lot more critical decisions along the way with ease, with comfortability, with assurance. And walking in patience, especially in filmmaking, you're more sensitive to new ideas and new opportunities to kind of pivot and change the status quo when it comes to certain things for your project. So stay patient, man. Like don't try to rush anything. If you feel like you're rushed, just think to yourself, this is all temporary. There's just so much power in patience, especially when it comes to filmmaking. And filmmaking is a very tedious process. You're literally basically creating your own world in a sense, and creating a world takes time. It takes dedication, it takes intimacy. So be patient with what you write, with what you see, with your actors, with your crew. A lot of leadership is required as a director, and being a director is not an easy task, because at the end of the day, you're directing people, not a project, but people. You're getting people to be the best they can be, and you got to be the best you can be so that you can bring out the best in others. So how you do that? Patience and love. Patience and love. A third very important lesson that I learned is that less is more. Less is more. I'm the kind of creative to be overthinking crazy projects. Like, I want to make space sagas, I want to make action movies, like I want to do a lot of big things. And I wanted to make this really big at first, but the simplicity in keeping one location, 2 actors, a small story created more impact than in anything else I've created. No cap. The amount of response and encouragement and awe that I got from this mini 1 minute and 20-second short film was more than I've got in anything else. And it's because I had less. When there's less, people are able to see what you are truly wanting to see in such a greater amount. It was also a very humbling experience to see something that's so simple be more important and actually have more value in people's lives. I don't want to create films that, you know, people watch and like, cool. I want to create films that really move people, that really inspire people, that really drop seeds of wisdom and knowledge and understanding and really makes people think. You know, I love creations and projects and anything that's art based that makes people think. And so that was the intention with this, and I do think that it did what it had to do. Fourth keep God first. Whether you believe in God or not, there's something so valuable in bringing God and his perfectness into everything, especially in what I do, and just keeping him first and being prayerful about this, praying before we created these things, created so much peace and so much flow. Like, when I don't bring God into things, there's just no flow. So I would suggest bringing God into your creations and just literally watching the flow, because now he's ordering it and not us. He's guiding it and not us. And he's the best artist to ever be. Look at this world. The sky, it's just beautiful. So I look up to the main artist. And that goes for my breakdown, my first ever breakdown of Fearless, my short film. If you guys want to see more of these and any tips and tricks and ideas to up the quality to make this better for you guys, better for YouTube, better for you guys to learn, I'd really appreciate that if you drop a comment. All I want to do is be able to teach you guys and bring you guys into the process of what I do. And I'd love to be able to get your guys' critique. I want to help you guys. I want to just continue to be that teacher for you guys, to bring you alongside the journey of what I do, because we're all in this together. So I love you guys. I'll see you guys soon in the next video.